Harry S. Truman was born on May 8, 1884 in the farm community of Lamar, Missouri, to John Truman and Martha Young Truman. Harry's father was a livestock trader. In 1890, the Trumans settled in Independence, Missouri, where Harry attended school. He excelled in his studies. Young Harry had to wear thick eyeglasses due to poor vision, and his doctor advised him not to play sports in order to avoid breaking them. This dashed the hopes of the young lad to attend the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. Despite his academic prowess, his family could not afford to send him to college, so after graduating high school in 1901, he worked as a bank clerk and held various other jobs starting in 1906. Harry spent over a decade helping his father manage the family's 600-acre farm near Grandview, Missouri. During this time, Harry served in the Missouri National Guard. In 1917, when America entered World War I, Harry re-enlisted in the National Guard. Then he was in his early 30s and was sent to France. Harry helped organize his National Guard regiment, which was ultimately called into service in the 129th Field Artillery and was promoted to captain in France and assigned Battery D, which was known for being the most unruly battery in the regiment. Despite his shy and modest temperament, Harry captured the respect and admiration of his men and led them successfully through the heavy fighting during the Meuse-Argonne campaign. Upon his return from the war, Harry married Elizabeth Wallace, his childhood classmate. That same year, Harry pursued a business venture with a friend and opened a men's clothing store in Kansas City. However, the business closed in 1922 due to a poor economy. The Trumans was blessed with a daughter, Mary Margaret Truman, who grew up to become a professional singer and author of biographies and mystery novels. In 1922, Harry was elected district judge in Jackson County, Missouri, an administrative position that involved handling the county's finances, public works project, and other affairs with the backing of Kansas City political boss Thomas Pendergast. Consecutively, in 1926 and 1930, Harry won the county's presiding judge, having a reputation for efficiency and integrity. In 1938, Harry was elected into the U.S. Senate. There he supported President Franklin Roosevelt's New Deal programs, designed to help lift the nation out of the Great Depression, which began in 1929 and lasted about a decade. In addition, Harry was instrumental in the passage of the Civil Aeronautics Act in 1938, which established government regulation of the burgeoning aviation industry, and the Transportation Act of 1940, which established new federal regulations for America's railroad, shipping, and trucking industry. From 1941 to 1944, Harry was head of the Senate Special Committee to investigate the National Defense Program, which worked to reduce waste and mismanagement in U.S. military spending. The committee, popularly called the Truman Committee, saved American taxpayers millions of dollars and propelled Truman into national spotlight. In 1944, Roosevelt, in his quest for an unprecedented fourth term as president, chose Harry as his running mate, replacing Vice President Henry Wallace, a divisive figure in the Democratic Party. The duo easily defeated Republican Thomas Dewey, the governor of New York, and was sworn into office on January 20, 1945. On April 12, 1945, less than 3 months later, the president died suddenly of cerebral hemorrhage at age 65. Harry was given the oath of office in the White House by Chief Justice Harlan. Upon assuming the presidency, Harry faced a series of monumental challenges and decisions. During Harry's initial months in office, he approved the dropping of atomic bombs on Japanese cities of Hiroshima on August 6 and Nagasaki on August 9. This forced Japan to surrender on August 14, 1945. However, Harry's use of atomic bomb continued to be one of the most controversial decisions of any American president. In the aftereffect of the war, the Truman government had to contend with deteriorating U.S.-Soviet relationship and the start of the Cold War in 1946 to 1991. In 1947, Harry introduced the Truman Doctrine to provide aid to Greece and Turkey in an effort to protect them from communist aggression. That same year, Harry also funded the Marshall Plan, which gave billions of dollars in aid to help stimulate economic recovery in European nations. In 1948, Harry began an airlift of food and other supplies to western held sectors of Berlin, Germany that were obstructed by the Soviets. He also recognized the new state of Israel. On the home front, Harry faced the challenge of transitioning America to a peacetime economy amid labor disputes, a shortage of consumer goods, and a national railroad strike. This greatly affected his popularity poll. In 1948, Harry ran for re-election and won, much to the surprise of everyone. He was sworn in for his second term in January 1949. His inauguration was the first to be televised nationwide. The president introduced an ambitious social reform agenda known as the Fair Deal, which included national medical insurance, federal housing programs, a high minimum wage, assistance for farmers, repeal of the Taft-Hartley Labor Act, increases in Social Security, and civil rights reforms. Though a majority of his proposals were largely blocked by conservatives in Congress, he had some legislative successions, such as Housing Act of 1949, and also issued executive orders at the end of his first term to end segregation in the U.S. Armed Forces and to prohibit discrimination in federal government jobs. Despite being eligible to run for another presidential term, Harry announced in March 1952 that he would not do so. In this year's general election, Republican Dwight Eisenhower defeated Democrat Adlai Stevenson, the governor of Illinois, to clinch the presidency. After the inauguration of the new president in January 1953, Harry and Bess Truman traveled by train from Washington to their home in Independence. There, the former president penned his memos and raised funds for Harry S. Truman Presidential Library, which opened in Independence in 1957. On December 26, 1972, Harry died at age 88 in Kansas City, Missouri. A decade later, his wife followed suit. They are both buried in the courtyard of the Truman Library. Thank you very much for watching our videos. We'd like to give you another interesting video for you to enjoy next. But before then, our team would be very happy if you can like this video and share it with your friends on social media. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss other interesting videos like this. Look at your screen now to see 2 other videos we handpicked for you to enjoy next. We love you.